So how do you speak on camera? That's the article topic that I'll be considering today. And to be honest, I'm relatively new to this, not necessarily to the public speaking space, but in my story, I remember at some point maybe looking down on the people who would actually get in front of a camera and share what they were talking about, or simply dismiss it, believing that, you know what, I have better things to do with my time. But something changed along the way, which was simply understanding what I like to talk about, and I've mentioned this before, that growth necessitates you actually teaching and sharing that information with a larger and greater amount of people than maybe that which you are used to. What I mean by this is, you might have read all the books, studied all the courses, met all the people, but in order to grow, to take that next level, whether it's in business, your personal life, or any other facet of your life, you require that ability to be proud, be enthusiastic, and share from within. Do you feel me? So, when it comes to video and this ability to share information, it always helps if you have some kind of an outline, whether it's in your head or a physical outline, from which you can take maybe 2 or 3 points on which you're following. And in having an outline, you're able to think about your audience, connect with the audience, and then share valuable insights that they're going to benefit them. So again, think about your audience, connect with them, and share valuable insights. Sparkle in a couple of stories here and there, and people are interested, they're fascinated, they like what they're hearing. So, video. And the topic that is very important to define, I'll start with the number 1 point here, because topics allow you to focus on a specific subject. You can talk about anything under the sun, but unless it's guided and specific, no one's going to benefit from it. What I mean by that is, we all like to hear people ramble, but if we never get those specific advice pieces, then we're never going to take that next step or understand how we're being benefited. Feel me? So when it comes to video marketing, or video in particular, get on, create an outline, that's the first step, and decide this is the topic that I'll be talking about. In this case, I'm talking about video. Number 2, provide advice that's specific. The more specific, the better. For an instance, in this case, how-to article pieces are great. Why how-to? Because at the end of it, we come away with something of a knowledge. We feel we've learned, we feel we've received a measure of training, and that in turn helps us to further our message and communicate with as many or more people than we thought before. And the last point, a specific takeaway. So here's what I invite you to do, and here's my takeaway. Now that you've heard me kind of talk about video, I want you to pull out your phone, similar to what I've been doing, and record yourself. Even if you never share this with anybody, speak on camera. Understand that these are some of the obstacles or the gotchas that I've seen a lot of people go through, and for this reason, they never release any kind of information, which is, in their head, they're constantly berating themselves. What I mean by that is they're breaking their thoughts and judging themselves so harshly and so hard that they were unable to release these great ideas because they weren't good enough. So the way you overcome this is by simply a virtue of taking out a camera or getting a friend that's close to you to share these thoughts, share these ideas. And in doing so, you're fulfilling the mission that you have, which is to teach yourself, to teach what was given to you, the ideas, the content, that ability to communicate and engage and connect like no others really. No other person will ever be able to do what you do. And you have it already in you. In fact, so often, one of the lacking, I would say, keys or ingredients that a lot of businesses that I've worked with lack is this inability to believe in themselves. And it goes the same with people. We feel that we're waiting for that permission, or we think, you know what, so-and-so can do it so much better. And it'll happen, because I share with you, it'll be the awkwardest thing to see yourself on camera and then listen to it. It can be like, the feeling of like scratching nails on the wall. It'll feel like that. And at first you might even consider yourself crazy, thinking, why am I talking to myself? Because really that's what's happening. But if you can push beyond these obstacles, and you will push through these obstacles if you're looking to help many more people, understand that the rewards will be someone coming away with, again, my third point here, these takeaways. And believe me, takeaways won't happen when you're around. In fact, they might not even happen when you're sharing a video or sharing a content piece. But the art of takeaways is the following. They happen when someone is thinking about your content, thinking about your message later on. And so, to recap, by developing a topic, by providing specific how-to advice, like I did in this case, inviting you to take out your phone, record, share, and then I'll talk more about this on a later topic, repurpose this material, take it, push it, share it with friends, and then providing a specific takeaway, like in this instance, my invitation to you is to take the message, post it, share with a friend or two, or if not, even share it with me. I'd love to see it. Frank@peoplewhogrow.com. And within this particular instance, you'll realize that you're going to start discovering and growing. Growth, my friends, is the byproduct of what happens when we decide that we're willing to explore the unexplored. What I mean by that is to continue to push the envelope in ourselves. When you're facing a camera and you're left, or you have this one instance of sharing and teaching what you know, you have to dig. And sometimes you discover things you didn't even know you knew. Isn't that exciting? Like to realize that inside of you, all day long, you contain these ideas, these thoughts, these concepts, these visualizations of what is going to be. But when you have that courage to actually explore and dig deep and share, that moment, the transformation happens. And it's that transformation. It's that feeling of, hey, I'm moving forward. Hey, I'm creating. Hey guys, I'm pulling something out there that starts to resonate with people. It makes them feel like you have something worth sharing. And in that moment, you take that step from being perhaps a follower or being that person that's waiting for permission to enabling and inspiring those around you to do that. To realize that they can teach, they can grow, and they can move forward. The art of teaching, and I emphasize this heavily enough, the art, because it takes a courageous person like yourself, if you're listening to me ramble on and teach about this topic, to fully understand that there's so many opportunities available because you're creating them. And so we move from the space of waiting for others to tell us to being the ones who are leading the charge, so to speak, to creating that bits and pieces of content, of information, to sharing those nuggets, those golden bits and nuggets that we're fascinated by. And in that moment, our lives change. They can't help but change. Because you see, what's happening is we're sharing, we're contributing, we stopped being at that point where we were waiting for others, and now we're the ones who have taken control. In psychology, there's this term, a lot of books have talked about it. It's called the loci, and that's a little bit of sign language for you. L-O-C-I, of control. So basically, loci is from the Latin word which stands for kind of this place, this location, right? So the word location actually comes from this. So having this sense of self-direction, having the sense that I know where I'm headed, I know where I'm going, and I know that to get there, it's up to me. So there's this phrase that sometimes you hear tossed around that says, if it's to be, it's up to me. And as a teacher, that's the mindset you'd like to have. That's the mindset we want to develop. That mindset of, if it's to be, it's up to me because I get to teach it. I get to impart some of the knowledge that I have, some of these ideas, some of these ramblings, some of these thoughts. But what's more, by having a framework of sorts, you take these thoughts, these ideas that are highly intangible, right? And because of that, a lot of people feel they can't connect with. And now you're able to create something that's more structured. And that's one of my favorite topics. I love talking about it, and I'll definitely be sharing more on that. And if it's something you're interested in, please let me know. How do you structure content? Like I said, I've talked about frameworks, I've talked about how-tos, but ultimately structure them around the topic of benefits. So take an idea, break it down into 3 to 5 specific topic points that can benefit people, that they can share with others, and they can benefit highly from. And in that moment, you realize that now you're sharing and you're taking this inner greatness that we all have, these thoughts, these ramblings, maybe ideas or semblances of ideas, and you're creating a process. And at the end of this process, really, there's a transformation. And that transformation is going from point A to point B. So like, for example, the transformation that I'm looking to impart and the belief that I'm looking to share with you is that anybody can teach. If they're willing to dig deep into themselves, they have that expertise, and there's that advice that once connected with the right audience, with the right people who are listening and needing to hear from you, there will be massive ripple effects taking place, but it began with the courage to act upon these ideas. A lot of us might be maybe with friends, or we're just kind of walking about and we discover an idea, but it dies. And that's a sad death. There's a little story that goes about a man who is at his deathbed. And he's lying there, about to die. And seated next to him, standing, are the ghosts of the ideas of what could have been. And they look at him with large, angry eyes, and they say, "We came to you, and only you could have given us life. But now, we must die forever." So the question is, what ideas, what thoughts will die for you? Never may that be. And for that instance, make a choice, make a decision right now to share your thoughts, to share your topics, your advice, and to give takeaways to people that can benefit them. And that, my friends, is my takeaway to you. If you like this message, please visit, learn, let's connect on peoplewhogrow.com. I'm Frank Anaya. Take care.